Just like, yeah, we the big dick now. Fuck yeah. Oh, this is always online, or it does this, it does that. Oh, if you don't want that, we have a console for you. It's called the Xbox 360. Get the fuck on. I was like, damn. Let's jump right into today's news bits, those little stories of the week that don't quite have enough info to have a full-blown story, but I still wanted to talk about them. And our first one of this fine Saturday would be Patty Jenkins. You know Patty Jenkins, Nick?
I do.
Pretty good director. She's had some hits and she's had some misses, but she made Wonder Woman, and then she also made Wonder Woman 1984.
She sadly made Charlize Theron ugly in a movie, which is impossible to do.
She did Monster, didn't she? That's right. Yeah. That's the one that shot her to fame. Well, she was, oddly enough, went back to Disney because she was over at Marvel years and years ago before Wonder Woman, and she was supposed to be making something. I can't remember what it was. Was it Captain Marvel or she was making a?
She was making a Marvel. She was making Thor: The Dark World, actually.
Yes, because she was going to be the first female director.
Yeah.
And conflict of interest, yada yada yada. She left. What happens when a lot of directors leave Marvel? They go over to DC. DC scooped her up and had her make Wonder Woman, which turned out being kind of a big turn for DC, because DC at that time had been known for, hey, your movies are your DCEU movies are very hit or miss. She came out and made Wonder Woman, and it was pretty much overall lauded. People really enjoyed it. I thought it was really good. Had a few issues here or there, but what movie doesn't? So she's been over there. She's been doing the Wonder Woman thing. She's working on Wonder Woman 3 right now. But she went back to Disney, apparently, and was supposed to be making a Star Wars movie called Rogue Squadron. Is it based, or was it going to be based on the video game Rogue Squadron from back in the day? I don't know. But it was a Rogue Squadron Star Wars movie, spin-off movie she was going to be making. It had a release date. I think it was 2023. So they should have been filming right now. And apparently, lots of dates have been released for things, and that one has been removed. Officially. People have been saying, hey, they haven't even started filming this movie yet, and you guys still have it listed up there. It's not officially canceled, but it has been indefinitely, what do they call it, postponed or whatever, put on hold. So they have not shot this movie yet, and it doesn't look good, because there's been some other rumblings about things that are going on behind the scenes. It seems like maybe Patty Jenkins is having some issues with them again, but there's also some scheduling issues. So we might not be getting Rogue Squadron, at least from Patty Jenkins. We don't know. It is on hold indefinitely right now. And a lot of the times when things go on indefinite hold, that just means they never come out. At least not in their current form. So if you were looking forward to Rogue Squadron, I'm sorry. What about you, Nick? You're a big Star Wars. I like Star Wars, but Nick is like kind of more hardcore Star Wars fan. Were you looking forward to this? Does this affect you deeply?
Yeah. I know. I don't know if you read any of the Star Wars books, but Rogue Squadron was one of the best of the series before they threw all that shit out and decided to make whatever Disney decided to make out of it. But the Rogue Squadron books were really good. And Patty Jenkins, I mean, I didn't hate Wonder Woman 88 or 89 or whatever it is. 84. I know a lot of people 84, whatever. Yeah, Wonder Woman 84, the one with the Pedro Pascal. I didn't hate it like a lot of people did, but I would like to see somebody other than the same 5 people directing a Star Wars property. How many more movies or TV shows are we gonna have with Dave Filoni and fucking Jon Favreau and Deborah Chow and stuff like that? I mean, it would have been cool to see what she could do. She's obviously proven herself in the the CG space. So I mean, even if you didn't set the fucking Rogue Squadron in the era of the Luke Skywalker era, I mean, it still would have been cool. But as we know, Disney's going to Disney, and I think I told you this when we were recording last night, or maybe I told someone else. I told someone else. I'm starting to lose any or all interest in Star Wars. People say Andor is supposed to be really good, but I'm losing interest in it because I'm tired of the fan base, and 2, I haven't found a Star Wars TV series yet that I really enjoyed. Except maybe Mando was fine, but I mean that was good. But once again, the Mandalorian was relying too much on nostalgia than telling its own story. I mean, I don't want to like harp on this too long because I know this is a news bit, but Baby Yoda, I'm like, as cute and cuddly and fun. I have a couple of the pop figures. As that is, it's just another Baby Yoda. It's just another Yoda. There's I don't know. Maybe Ahsoka. I hear Andor. The first 4 episodes of Andor, I heard from reliable people that you and I know say it's really good. So you know what? I'll give it a chance, but I'm really kind of on the outs with Star Wars. I really am. I love what I love, and yeah,
I am.
I'm so frustrated with it. Yeah,
I really like Mandalorian a lot more than I thought I was going to like it. That's done right. That's one of the few Disney Plus shows that I'm like, hey, this is legit, like all around. Like this is a really entertaining show. I like this. I do agree. It has a lot of nostalgia bait in it, but I think that they tell some solid stories, and it's just solidly made. I've enjoyed that. Boba Fett, not so much. As far as Patty Jenkins and Wonder Woman, I'm with you. I didn't hate 84. It
wasn't good.
Didn't love it either. I thought the end of it was. It was way too long, and I thought the end of it was kind of like, this is dumb. But
yeah,
I didn't hate it, but it was nowhere near as good as the first Wonder Woman. But either way, quick question: do you know? Because there was a game, I think it was actually a series. It was on GameCube originally called Rogue Squadron, Star Wars Rogue Squadron. Was that what? Yeah. Was it based on those books?
I think it was semi based on it. They had an N64 game too, or a couple of them, but
yeah,
I think all of it was kind of in the same universe. But when it comes to the games back in the day, even the Rogue Squadron games didn't really have a story. They were just more of like mission based things. You would sometimes hear like what's his face? It's a trap. Whatever his name is, Captain Akbar. Yeah, Admiral Akbar. And sometimes you would hear.
I got that reference.
Sometimes you would hear like Luke or something like that. Even like I don't know if you played the VR version of Rogue Squadron that came out. Even that didn't really. Like.
Oh, you mean really, not Rogue Squadron?
Rogue Squadron.
The new the. Was it called Rogue Squadron? It was just called
Squadron. It was like Squadrons or something like that, but it was a Rogue Squadron
Star Wars
game.
Squadrons. Yeah. I have actually played that. I've actually put off playing it anymore until I get my motion seat, because I thought that was pretty cool. And it actually had story stuff and all that going on, like legit story.
Yeah, but I don't know. Like, to me personally, if they took from the books, I can't remember if those books were the ones that Chewie died in. Chewie dies in one of the series, and I can't remember if it's that one or a different series, but yeah, no, I mean the video games didn't really have a story. They were just more missions. They were like Call of Duty, where they had missions more than they had actual story running through it. Yeah.
Well, if you're a fan of those games, or if you're a fan of the books, or if you were just looking forward to Patty Jenkins' take on Star Wars, unfortunately, it ain't happening anytime soon, if ever. And I'll go on record saying that I don't think it's going to happen. I think will we get a Rogue Squadron movie? Maybe eventually, but I don't think Patty Jenkins is going to be at the helm. I think that ship has sailed, in my opinion. But we'll find out eventually, at some point, I guess, unless it just never happens and we're just all sitting there and wondering and wondering. All right, so speaking of, lots of release dates have been confirmed. And I'm going to go through a couple of them here, and these are not related whatsoever. There's lots more, too, but these are the ones that stuck out to me. Mufasa, which was announced via poster, or pretty much, at D23, is now coming out July 5th, 2024, so it's a ways off. And I didn't know a lot about this. Obviously,
I thought we talked
Mufasa.
about it.
What's that?
I thought we talked about how stupid of an idea it is.
Oh, we did. We talked about just based on what I'm saying is they didn't show anything. So I was like, is this going to be animated? Is it going to be live action? I think you said it is going to be the live action, a prequel to the live action Lion King that came out in, I think, 2018 or whatever it was. And now it is 100% confirmed. Yes, this is a prequel to that live action Lion King that just went over so well with everybody. Why? It made a lot of money. But I mean, come on. Disney can't deny that, while it made a lot of money just based on the fucking name, most people were not into this movie. Why are you making a prequel of it?
Because it made $1.5 billion. Listen, Jacob. Listen, Linda. Listen. No. Okay. Money means money means all for Disney. Disney doesn't care that another Run Down the Nostalgia Trip is coming out. That is going to be narrated by Pumbaa and Timon. They don't care. They know it'll make $1 billion. That's all they want. The fact they got Barry Jenkins directing this, like what's his face directing the Meg 2. I don't understand why Barry Jenkins is directing this movie, but you know, if it makes money, I guess. I have no interest. yeah, but they got the guy who directed like Free Fire to direct that one. But
yeah, I'm excited about his take on it. I'm just wondering, are they gonna let it be R-rated? But that's a whole different story.
No, I know, but no, like it's like, you know, when they eventually do an Aladdin 2, or when they eventually do, you know, Hunchback of Notre Dame 69 or some shit. I don't care about this shit. I mean, you know, we're gonna see Pinocchio when he becomes a real boy and becomes a Back to Pleasure Island as a sex slave or something. He's
going back to Pleasure Island. Let me tell you a lie, baby. My nose don't grow no more. Wow. Anyway, yeah, Mufasa. It's coming out in July of 2024. If you were looking forward to that, I mean, I don't think it'll go over well, but who knows? It might be great. I mean, you know, it's coming off of something that wasn't so great, but maybe they'll do something with it. Doubt it. Another thing that got an official release date, probably the furthest thing away from a Disney animated movie, would be Magic Mike's Last Dance, which I actually reported on the original announcement of this back on my old show over a year ago. But it is made, it's filmed, it's in the can, and it is now releasing theatrically, not just straight to streaming. It's still going to streaming, but it's releasing theatrically first, a little bit early, on February 10th, 2023, and it will still have Channing Tatum, and also Steven Soderbergh is returning to direct it. So it's going to be a Steven, because for those of you that didn't know, Steven Soderbergh actually directed the first one, and he did not do the second one, but he's coming back for the third one. So Magic Mike fans out there, Nick, I know you're excited about this.
Oh yeah, no. Can we talk honest right now? The first Magic Mike was actually a pretty deep movie, not sexually, but just like mentally too. It wasn't a bad movie. I'm not gonna lie. The second one was not great, but I actually kind of like the first movie, as much as I hate to say it sometimes.
I will say I watched that movie. My wife wanted to watch it, and I watched it, and I was actually surprised that it wasn't a total disaster. It wasn't bad. Yeah. I didn't think it was great, but it had some good stuff in it, and it was entertaining. It was much better and much deeper than I thought it was going to be. So yeah, there was a solid story and movie there. So there's a couple of performances in it and a few things I'm like, this is dumb, but overall it was much better than I ever thought it was going to be. It wasn't quite as exploitative as I thought it was going to be.
It doesn't mean we need a third movie, but Steven Soderbergh has proven to be a pretty decent director.
Yeah,
in his like 45 years of career making or whatever.
Yeah, I still don't know what they're going to do with the third movie, but I mean, at the end of the day, these movies are still, while it's not as exploitative as I thought it was going to be, they are still that. That is what sells them. The opportunity to see Channing Tatum's balls. That's why women go to see it, because that is what it is. Well, women and men, I guess. Yeah, that's what it's about. What if, I think they all know, we're not going to, maybe an ass shot, but every one of them, they're just like, maybe this is the one where we see his cock and balls. That's why they go see it, and hopefully the story is good enough to carry everything else. So, but Magic Mike's Last Dance Part 3, Magic Mike XXL, whatever you want to call it, is releasing on February 10th for those of you that are interested. Alrighty, let's talk about some video games real quick. This is a story that hit home for me just a little bit, and it's a PlayStation story. I have recently, I've been collecting video games for a while, but I've recently started deep diving more into the PlayStation side of things. I recently got a PlayStation 4. It's the first one I've ever owned. I know it's a very popular console. Finally jumped into that. And I actually, the day that this story came out, which was yesterday or the day before, I had bought earlier in the week, but I received in the mail a PlayStation VR. I bought a PSVR and a handful of games. I have VR. I'm a big proponent of VR, but I was like, well, let's try out PlayStation VR. It's got a few exclusives. Let's see what's up with it. Well, the day that I received it, ironically enough, do you remember the whole thing about Sony saying, we believe in generations when the PS5 came out? Meaning, we are going to have games, because Microsoft's whole thing was, hey, our games are going to play on the previous generation and on the new generation. We want to just include
word.
everybody, and or at least for a while. And Sony said, no, we believe in generations. We will have games that only are on PS5. But then, come to find, everything plays on everything. That was kind of a bullshit statement. I don't think people had so much of an issue with their stuff playing on the previous generation. It was the fact that they like made this big deal about how they're so great because they believe in generations, and then they just backtracked that, among many other things. Sony's been making a lot of anti-consumer moves this generation. Everybody's been saying that. Well, here's another one. PSVR2 has been it's been announced, but they finally are showing it off.
Yeah.
It is nearing time for it to come out next year. It looks like some impressive hardware for what it is. Everything but a price pretty much has been put out there, which is kind of scary. However,
oh no, it's gonna be $500. Don't worry.
Oh, I'm sure.
I guarantee.
At that point, it's kind of like, why? That was one of its big things, is that, oh, this is, an alternative to PC VR. Now you're gonna have a $500 box and a $500 kit to play these games. It's like, there's not much of a difference now. But anyway, well, apparently Sony believes in generations again because the PSVR2 will not be backward compatible. In other words, if you have any PSVR 1 or just PSVR games, which I now have quite a few of, they won't work if you decide to get a PSVR 2.
Makes no sense to me. Okay, so
none at all. And their reasoning's pretty stupid too, but go ahead with what you were saying.
Well, no, I was gonna say, so I can go get a Meta Quest 2, and then whatever the next Meta Quest is, play the backwards compatible games, but PlayStation's like, nope, we're going to be so anti-consumer friendly, we're not going to allow that. No. We're just going to be stupid cheap. That's why Xbox is winning this generation.
Yep. Well, their reasoning is pretty fucking stupid too, in my opinion. I don't want to harp on this too much, but it is something that is just, it's a dumbass be straight up. The reason is because they want you to buy more shit. That's why. But
I know that's the
it's
reason.
money.
Yep.
But their reasoning is this, that the PSVR 2 is so technically advanced and has it's such a high-end equipment that to create things for it, you have to it's on another level. You have to use, fuck you, you're full of shit. You're using Windows-based PCs to create every one of these goddamn games. Now, if you told me that you have a PSVR 2 game that will not work or work properly on PSVR 1, I might still call bullshit, but I at least would be like, okay, maybe there's some features within this new headset that the old headset doesn't do, or it won't work on the PS4 or something like that. I get that. But to tell me that you can't take a PS4 game that is VR and put it on more powerful hardware and it won't work is ridiculous. Look at Steam. Like you said, look at Oculus or Meta or whatever. You have games, you can buy a headset, a brand new headset today, Index, Valve Index, one of the gold standard in headsets at the moment. You can buy that brand new hardware that came out in 2019, I think it was. You can play a game from 2016 that came out on fucking Oculus Quest, not Quest, it was before the Quest even existed. You could play games that came out on the Oculus Rift Dev Kit 1, most basic ass games in the world, and they work on new stuff. There's no VR game that, it was made back then when they didn't have as good a hardware, so now it won't work on this new hardware. You're full of shit. They're full of fucking shit. That is some shitty ass stuff, especially when PSVR's attach rate, it had a good attach rate for VR, but you had these people that are buying this extremely expensive add-on and games that will only work on it. Like, I've got games over there for my PlayStation 4. You cannot play unless you have a headset. There's not like a VR version and a 2D version.
Yeah.
You
Which
have
is fine
to use
because that's what it's meant for.
Yeah, that's fine. Because, I mean, it's the same thing with the Steam games I have and stuff. But now you're telling me that since if I decide I want to upgrade to this new headset within the same ecosystem, these games won't work? That's horseshit. That's anti-consumer because they're fucking their people because they know that the people, they're not all of them, but they think, and some of them will, their diehard loyals will just bend over, squirt some lube in that old hole, and just take it raw dog. And that's fucking bullshit. You guys start demanding more. Stop taking this bullshit. This is not the first thing.
But they're too busy. They're too busy sucking the dick of PlayStation to worry about all the shit that they throw. I mean, it's like when you start telling people, oh, it's like when, okay, I'm gonna go to Xbox real quick because I'm not trying to shit on Xbox, but it's like when what's his face back when Xbox One was coming out, he's like, hey, look, we have this Xbox 360 that you can play because you can't play Xbox One without an internet connection. So like sometimes these companies, and PlayStation did it with the PlayStation 3 when they priced it at $600 or whatever fucking price
cocky.
they had. Yeah, they get cocky and they make stupid choices, and you have this, as you're probably aware, this gigantic library of PSVR games. Some really good. You have like Moss, and you have like the I don't know, Resident Evil 7 and stuff like that. Why wouldn't you allow? Oh, that's cool. Yeah, Resident Evil 7 is awesome in VR. I really want to play Resident Evil 8 in VR, but you have all this shit, all these games, and you can't play them. But oh yeah, you can play like all these other PlayStation 4 games. It feels like you said, anti-consumerism, and it pisses me off. And yeah, I'll still go buy a PSVR too because I really like I like VR, but it's just
I won't.
I don't know.
I mean, I might years and years and years from now on eBay for my quest to collect things, maybe, but I ain't gonna buy one new. I definitely am not going to. I mean, I don't have a PS5, but I don't need a PS5 at the moment. I'll eventually get one probably, but I'm not buying one. Fuck that shit. And I'm with, like, they've been screwing their customers this generation so bad, and it goes back to Xbox did it too. I'm not saying they're better because the Xbox One, they came out the 360 generation just like, yeah, we the big dick now. Fuck yeah. Oh, this is always online, or it does this, it does that. Oh, if you don't want that, we have a console for you. It's called the Xbox 360. Get the fuck on. I was like, damn. Like, but they did the same thing with PS3. They're like, our system is so great that it's going to cost $600 in 2005 or 6. And we have this dumbass controller with it. At least they went back on that. They're just doing the same thing this generation. They are doing the same fucking thing, more or less. Because there's a wealth of stories out there where they've just been doing all kinds of fucking dumbass shit. Every company does it, but damn, they've been doing a lot of it. And this is just another one. And I think that thankfully, I'm more involved in the PC VR community, which I think that's a more flexible community, and that is where there's so many more VR experiences there, thankfully. But there are some experiences on the PlayStation side of things that are exclusive, a few of them. It's not a ton, but there are some exclusive experiences that I would like to experience, but if they show up on that thing, I'm not going to get that. Fuck that shit. I just bought one. I should be able to play. And there's another thing. If you told me I can't play the new games on the old hardware, I'd be like, okay, I get it. There's some differences. I think you can make it work, but that I could at least understand. I'd still be like, I think you could make that work, but okay, whatever. But not to be able to play the old stuff on the new one. Shut up. Because you can play them. You can hook your PSVR 1 up to a PS5, and it works. So the games work on PS5. But they won't work with this headset. Fuck off. That's bullshit. But anyway, let us know in the comments below if you're looking forward to PSVR 2. It is, I mean, it's impressive hardware. I'll give them that. But in the in the VR space, the PC VR space, it's just now getting up to snuff with the PC VR side of things. So people that are like, oh, it's so great. I mean, it's just getting up to their level now, and they're about to come out with new headsets there that by the time this thing comes out, it might be, as far as they're concerned, behind the times again, because that's what when the first one came out, it was behind everything else when it came out. However, it came out at a cheaper price, and that was their whole thing. So I don't know, we'll see. I don't want to harp on it too much, but just check out all that stuff before. If you're a PSVR user and you are thinking about making the jump, just know everything you got's not going to work, so don't think you're going to be able to upgrade to that. Okie dokie. Speaking of video games, and speaking of Sony's competitor, Xbox, apparently Phil Spencer did an interview, because they did, on a side note, we talked about Nintendo and Sony last show, how they put out these two, a State of Play and a Direct, and we're like, Microsoft, it's your turn. Well, they put one out too, because Tokyo Game Show was going on, and the shows that they did weren't at Tokyo Game Show, but Nintendo and Sony, it was during that week. So that's why all this video game stuff suddenly happened. Well, Microsoft put one out too, and apparently it was solid as well. I saw part of it. I didn't watch all of it. It was in Japanese, a good bit of it. It was like half and half. It was very much like theirs were. It was very Japanese game centric, and a lot of it was about this is coming to Game Pass, this is coming to Game Pass because that's their big push. Lots of Japanese RPGs and stuff like that are coming over to Game Pass. Some things are new, and some things are things that haven't been on their platform before, like Persona 5. I've never played those games. I know they're very popular, though. And some other things that are very Japanese-based. But a lot of people seem excited about it. So it seems like all three companies, for once, put out very solid shows. So good for all of them. Had different focuses, but they all put out solid shows this past week. So, but during the Tokyo Game Show, Phil Spencer was doing an interview, and it came up about acquisitions, because of course they have a big acquisition going on right now. And he more or less made the comment that we're not done acquiring studios. There will be more, or we're at least still looking. There's going to be more stuff. He pretty much said we'll never be done, because in this game, in this business, you can't just stay stagnant. And he also made the assertion that neither is our competition. I mean, people talk about us acquiring stuff all the time. Sony does it as well. Nintendo's probably the only one that doesn't really. They do a few things, they're smaller things, but Sony is acquiring company. They just acquired some not too long ago, a few weeks ago. They're not Activision Blizzard, but they are acquiring large. They got Bungie. They have studios that they're bringing in as well. So he's pretty much saying that this whole acquisition thing, maybe not to the degree of Activision Blizzard, but they are going to continue acquiring things. Is this a surprise to you, Nick?
Nope. It's Microsoft. I'm not surprised about anything.
Yes. I mean, they're playing the game.
We're in a world where two studios are going to own everything at some point.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I mean, Embracer will own everything as well as Tencent, but these other two will own the rest.
Well, that's the thing is Tencent, because Tencent and Sony were specifically said in this article, they, on the video game side of things, are bigger than Microsoft still. Both of those companies individually are bigger than Microsoft in the video game space. So he was like, I mean, I don't see where everybody, even with Call of Duty or Activision Blizzard, he's like, I mean, everybody's giving us a hard time. They are bigger than us. they got more stuff going on. So yeah, we're going to keep on because we have to remain competitive. I think the thing is people just went, we went 8 years, I guess, last generation with Microsoft just not doing anything. But they were building, everybody kept saying they're building up to next generation. They're building up to next generation. And I guess they were, because now they're competing hard and people aren't used to that. And they're like, oh my God. So I love it because it makes everybody make better decisions. Well, I think you think so, but Sony doesn't seem to be making good decisions, but it pushes people to make decisions in the end that hopefully will end up being good decisions, but we'll find out. All right. Back to the movie front of things. Scream 6, it's coming. They're making it. I doubt it'll be called Scream 6, but it's going to be the sequel to last year's pretty good, decent hit. It was pretty overall well-liked Scream, which was, I guess, Scream 5. And we also know that Neve Campbell will not be returning for this one. She made it through the last movie. If you haven't seen it, sorry I spoiled that for you, but she made it through the last movie, but she will not be returning for this next one. Had something to do with how much they were offering her compared to others or something, and she was pretty much like, at my age, I don't have to put up with that shit. No. So she's not coming back. It is also another change that we're getting. Apparently, it is going to be leaving Woodsboro. It is not going to be taking place in the town, with the exception of part 2, I think. No. 2 and 3, I guess, didn't take place in Woodsboro. Right?
Yeah.
2 was at college and 3 was in Hollywood.
Yeah, 2... Yeah, 3 was, yeah.
So yeah, I guess it's not totally out of the realm of of normality that this series is going somewhere. It's going to Manhattan. So Ghostface takes Manhattan. Last time we had an iconic horror character go to Manhattan, it didn't turn out too well.
That was that iconic character just started punching people.
Yeah, uppercutting heads off of roofs, but. Yeah. Hopefully this one turns out better. I don't really know how. Scream 5 I thought was fine. I thought it was okay. It was fine. It was fine. I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I liked it more than I disliked it. It was better than it could have been. I'll give it that. It was entertaining enough. I know you liked it a little bit more than I did, Nick. But what do you think about this Ghostface going to Manhattan?
I gotta ask, what is it with films moving out of their original area? Like we have Scream moving to New York, and Evil Dead apparently taking over a high-rise building. I Yeah.
Well, and that's what I was thinking is, they're leaving Woodsboro, but then, like I said, just a moment I had the realization that, well, they've done that before. I mean, they did go to L.A. and they did go to wherever the college took place in part 2. So I guess it's not totally out of the realm of believability here. They came back in 4 and then have been there for the past 2 movies. So I don't know. I guess they're just trying to keep things fresh.
Who's gonna be the killer? I mean, is this where you find out that Neve Campbell was actually brought back in secret and she is actually the killer because she's tired of everyone trying to kill her, so she's gonna try and kill everyone? I mean, it just I enjoy a lot Scream 5, whatever it is. I think it's good. I think it's entertaining. It has a lot of cool, meta commentary, but I don't know if we need another one. We don't have Dewey anymore. We have like half the cast is either gone or dead. So it's like,
yeah. At this point, it's like it's just going to be a whole new cat. I don't know if Courtney Cox is coming back, but
yeah, she's coming back, and fucking Hayden Panettiere's coming back from the 4th film,
but she's Melissa kind of one of the new ones too. I mean, do I consider her? The original cast, there's one person left that will be in this movie. So it's like,
yeah,
who is?
Then you have Randy's sister is going to be in this one.
Yeah, but who? I mean,
Antonio's saying they should just say Randy never actually died. I'm like, God, that would be the worst thing ever. If Randy's actually, yeah, exactly.
These movies are becoming Saul. They're becoming Saul.
But they're at least a decent. Like these movies are pretty decent. Like outside of the 3rd one, which somehow had a cameo of Jay and Silent Bob because Wes Craven is a huge Jay and Silent Bob fan, like that kind of meta commentary. This series has been weird, but I enjoy it. I enjoy at least the first 2 and then this last one. So
I don't see a purpose for this movie, but on the flip side of that, I didn't see a purpose for the 5th one. And then I was like, okay, yeah, that was better than I thought it could have been. We'll just have to wait and see. At what point, though, you're on your 6th movie and you're a horror franchise. At what point do you start going down the road of camp? Freddy did it. Jason did it. Everybody, all horror franchises do that. At what point are they going to...
Scream always been campy in a way? Like, has it? It's always been a meta campiness to it because it's literally
definitely
about...
meta. Yes.
Yeah. I don't know. Like, the first one's kind of campy in the simple fact of, like, it's a bunch of, privileged high schoolers who just can't get over themselves and shit.
Yeah, I mean, I'll agree with the meta side of things, but I don't think it's gone down the road of, like, camp like Freddy Krueger did and even Jason did. I'm just wondering because they got to do something else. Because now they don't even have any of the original characters with the exception of one who probably won't make it, or maybe she will. I don't know. There's no connection. Where is the story going? Ghostface was very central to Sydney's character. Mm-hmm. He existed because of her character, or because of her mom, technically. So it's like, why is he still around? Is it just copy? I don't know. We'll find. I mean, we're gonna find out. Who knows? I mean, they're making it. It's happening, and it's gonna be in New York. Ghostface Takes Manhattan. Okay.
Yeah, we'll just go. Honestly, the 2 directors directed Ready or Not. They directed a pretty decent Scream movie. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. This movie may suck, but I'm gonna at least go see it because
I'll reserve judgment until I see it, because I hope everything's good that I see. But if they title it Ghostface Takes Manhattan, I'm there. I am fucking there.
Yes. Oh my God.
Jason Takes Manhattan, but I will. If you do that, you're leaning into what you need to lean into.
No, A24, are you listening? Daniels, are you listening? Ghostface Takes Manhattan. That's a perfect A24 movie in the Scream franchise.
Absolutely. Yeah. All right, so moving on from there. Speaking of horror maestros, Stephen King. He's a guy. He's written some stuff. You may have heard of it. You may have heard of him.
I think he wrote some books.
Yeah,
he may have read some things.
He has his most recent book is not horror, as far as I know. It's called Fairy Tale, and it just came out. But
wasn't he supposed to retire at some point?
He ain't never gonna retire. He's like Steven Soderbergh. We were talking about him earlier. He was supposed to retire, and he's signing like multi-picture deals with studios. But anyway, Stephen King, his new book Fairy Tale just came out. Apparently, the film rights were sold prior to the book being released, and it is now getting a film adaptation from Paul Greengrass of the Bourne series. Well, the second, third, and fourth movie. He apparently is very enthusiastic about it, and Paul Greengrass himself went to purchase the rights from Stephen King, which he purchased for $1, which is normal for Stephen King. He does that. He sells his book rights for $1, his film rights for $1, and then takes a hefty chunk of the back end. So we're getting. I have not read Fairy Tale. I love Stephen King. I think he's a fantastic writer. So I think the book, his movies are very hit or miss. Not his, but movies based on his works are very hit or miss. Yeah. So I think he's a great writer, but the film adaptations are very. You never know what you're going to get. Paul Greengrass has shown that he's a very competent director. He's had some, I'd say more hits than misses. This is not. I do not think this is a horror movie or horror story. Which Stephen King's made plenty of non-horror stories, but he's just known for horror. So this will be an interesting. I'm trying to think what else he has had. Running Man, it wasn't horror. What other of his non-horror books have been?
Stand By Me, Shawshank Redemption.
Oh yeah, Shawshank Redemption, Stand By Me, Running Man, very loosely.
There's
The Dark Tower,
sure.
But we don't talk about that.
I think the Langoliers was a comedy, if I remember right.
It wasn't supposed to be.
No, I know, I'm kidding.
But no,
Green Mile.
Very much...
Yeah, Antonio says Green Mile is definitely not a horror film.
Oh yeah. Well, and okay, so there you go. That proves me wrong. So this isn't the first one or anything, but Paul Greengrass, he's an interesting candidate for it. He is more known for action or espionage-esque action, but apparently he's all in. He loves this whole fantasy world that Stephen King has created, and he wants to do it. So we're getting that. We do not have any other information beyond the fact that it is greenlit, it is being made, and Paul Greengrass is going to be making it. So it's coming soon. So if you're a Stephen King fan, let us know. If you've read Fairy Tale, which is brand new, let us know. Was it any good? Does it seem like it is ripe for the film adaptation? I'd be curious to know. I really like Stephen King. I just don't know anything about this book. So coming soon. All right, last story of the day, or last story of of news bits rather. Rick and Morty. That's a popular show. The Avengers. That's a popular property as well. There's a new Avengers movie coming out in a few years, I guess, called Kang Dynasty. It's going to be the end, I think, of one of the phases. It's coming. It's already announced.
It's one of those movies.
Yeah. Apparently, Rick and Morty's Jeff Loveness, who is a writer for Rick and Morty, one of the predominant writers, has been contracted to write the Avengers Kang Dynasty, or Avengers Kang Dynasty. Okay. I mean, apparently this is not the first time that Marvel has contracted a Rick and Morty alum to come and write one of their films. There's been other ones that they've had people, especially Doctor Strange. I think the second Doctor Strange had quite a few of them come and do doctoring up the Doctor Strange script.
Well, I mean, the main writer for what was it, Loki and Doctor Strange, the head writer worked on Rick and Morty. Michael Waldron.
Well, there you go. I mean, if you like those movies, I don't know if it was Jeff Loveness, or it was not Jeff Loveness, but no. I know Rick and Morty's very popular. I don't. Sure, okay, I don't know what to think of this.
It's one of those things where you sit there and go, Marvel has this weird kind of thought logic to them, because they're hiring people like the Russo brothers who did Community, and they're hiring, they're hiring just like people out of like the ether and stuff like that, like Nia DaCosta, who directed like Candyman, who's directing the Miss Marvels or whatever. It's just like, okay, sure. I mean, I don't know. It is weird. I do
applaud. I will, and you're not going to get this from me often. I applaud Marvel or Disney for going and finding unorthodox, well, at first glance at least, unorthodox filmmakers, writers, directors, all that, to do some of these properties and give them an opportunity. I think that's cool. I think that it is a neat. Yeah. I mean, it worked with the Russo brothers. They came in, and I mean, no one can deny Infinity War and Endgame's success, and Winter Soldier, and what was the other one? The fight one where they fought at the airport.
Oh, Civil War.
Civil War, yeah. They did that. Yeah, they did that one too. So you can't deny that that was a good call on that. I mean, then you've got ones like what's her name for the Immortals? Not Immortals, Eternals.
Eternals.
Gemma Chan was the star. Whatever her name was. That one, in my opinion, not so much. Probably not the best fit. But hey, just because someone writes comedy for a living does not mean that they are straight up just a comedy writer. Look at the Joker with what's his name? I
Todd
can't remember.
Phillips.
Yeah.
Phillips.
And the Halloween movie, which I like 2018, but we ain't gonna talk about kills, and we're gonna talk about ends more in a few minutes. But he's made, you know, Pineapple Express and stuff like that. So comedians can write other things. It's just, I think it's kind of
I'm
like,
not saying that, but it's like it's
unorthodox.
Yeah. I mean, it's like I don't know, just random director like that was in one genre directing another genre. It's like, okay, sure. It's like Gorilla going from like Killzone to Horizon Horizon Zero Dawn. It's like,
Or
okay,
Playground
cool.
Studios going from Forza Horizon.
Oh, yeah.
Fable.
Exactly.
So it can work. Well, we don't know about that one yet, but it can work. Someone who is focused on this particular thing going to something totally different, but it doesn't always work. Hopefully it works here. I don't want any movie, even though I don't have a lot of faith in Disney and Marvel right now, I don't want any movie to suck. I'm hoping they are able to turn that ship around, and maybe bringing on Rick and Morty's Jeff Loveness will help them with that. I am not as familiar. What was that?
I was gonna say, this means we need a Justin Roiland movie or show.
Justin Roiland coming on and doing an Avengers movie, that would be amazing.
Right.
I would love to see that, but I don't know what that would be, but I'd love to see it. But anyway,
him talking to people.
that is what we got for this week's News Bits. Those little stories. Some of them went on a little bit longer. I probably could have done a full story on them, like the PSVR2 thing. But that's this week's News Bits, the little stories that didn't warrant their own story, but still wanted to talk about them. Let us know in the comments below what you guys think about Patty Jenkins not getting her Star Wars movie. Mufasa is coming out in 2024, and it's a prequel to the 2018 live action, quotes. Magic Mike's Last Dance, February 10th. Sony, believing in generations again. Xbox, still going to be buying some shit. Ghostface Takes Manhattan. Paul Greengrass, adapting Stephen King's newest book. And Rick and Morty's Jeff Loveness taking on the Avengers Kang Dynasty. Let us know what you guys thought about all of those and anything you think we should have talked about and possibly missed in the comments below.